There is something going on inside the Jenkins motel room that just doesn't add up, and people online are finally starting to catch on. Joe has been telling everyone he comes home from work all day and all night just to clean the entire motel room by himself. But on the flip side, Stephanie keeps saying she's been the one cleaning all day while Joe is at work. So, how can the same room still be a disaster when both of them are supposedly cleaning non-stop? Who is actually telling the truth? And more importantly, are either of them really doing anything at all? Let's take a closer look at Drew's side of things. On his TikTok page, he posts day in the life videos that show him out and about doing DoorDash deliveries. He drives from one location to another, picking up food orders and dropping them off to customers. It's pretty typical gig work, but it's steady and he seems to be doing it every single day. In the videos, he often shows the drive, the bags, and sometimes even talks about how tiring it is. Then at night, he clocks into his full-time job at Safeway. He works in the grocery section, stocking shelves and doing overnight tasks. So technically, he's juggling two jobs right now, gig work during the day and Safeway at night. That's a big change for someone who, not that long ago, wasn't doing much of anything. Just a few months back, people were constantly calling him out. He didn't have a job, didn't help around the motel, and just seemed checked out. Stephanie was the one who appeared to be doing it all, creating content, making meals, and finding ways to keep the kids fed. Meanwhile, Drew was seen playing video games and staying out of responsibilities. The internet didn't hold back in judging him either. But everything seemed to change once that child support court case came into the picture. That might have been the wake-up call he needed. Since then, Drew has been showing more action. He got the jobs, he started making videos about his day, and he is saying that he wants to help his family get out of the motel. Whether it's genuine or motivated by outside pressure, people are starting to notice that Drew's at least putting in some effort. He says he's doing what he can to now support the kids and take the first steps toward a better life. So here's the part that got everyone scratching their head. If Drew is working literally all day and night, how is it possible that he still comes home and deep cleans the entire motel room? That's what we're seeing on his TikTok. And at the same time, Stephanie is saying she's been cleaning all day while he's out. So, why does the room still look like a war zone every time we see it? Drew usually takes a quick nap after his night shift, then films himself mopping floors, doing dishes, scrubbing walls, you name it. But if Stephanie is cleaning all day, what's left for Drew to do? How is there still so much mess? It just doesn't make sense. If you look at Stephanie's content, it's non-stop cleaning and cooking from morning to night. She shows herself making full meals, sometimes more than one per day, wiping down every counter, sweeping the floor, and even doing laundry in a small space with no washer or dryer. She says she's holding down the entire motel room on her own and makes it seem like she's the one putting in any real effort to keep things together for the kids. She talks like she's overworked and exhausted all the time. But then, when you scroll through Drew's posts, it tells a totally different story. He's also cleaning, and not just light tidying. He is mopping, doing dishes, wiping walls, and sometimes cleaning the same area Stephanie just said she cleaned. He even goes into detail about how he gets home from both his jobs and still ends up being the one to clean everything. He makes it sound like if he doesn't do it, nobody will. So let's be real here. Both of them can't be doing all the work. Someone is lying. Or at the very least, someone is seriously exaggerating. This is one single motel room. Just one. Not a full house. Not an apartment. One small space with one bathroom and one area for sleeping and eating. If both of them are spending hours every day cleaning it like they claim, why does it always look like a disaster in every single video? Why does it still look like no one's doing anything at all? Here's where the contradictions get even messier and harder to ignore. Stephanie has done multiple live streams where she breaks down, crying, saying Drew doesn't lift a finger around the motel. She vents about how tired she is, how much pressure she's under, and how she feels like a single mom, even though Drew is physically there. According to her, everything falls on her shoulders: the cleaning, the cooking, the kids, and even the emotional toll. But then, in a totally different video, sometimes just days apart, she suddenly flips the story. She starts praising Drew for being supportive and says he helps with chores after coming home from work. She'll talk about how grateful she is for the help he gives after his long shifts and how he pitches in when he can. Meanwhile, Drew is uploading his own version of events. He shares videos showing himself doing all the cleaning, scrubbing the bathroom, organizing piles of clothes, doing dishes, while Stephanie is either off camera or clearly seen sitting in the background not engaging. It creates a confusing picture. If he's really doing all that cleaning, then what exactly is Stephanie talking about in her rants? So, what's really going on here? Are these emotional live streams from Stephanie just for sympathy? Are Drew's cleaning videos strategically posted to win over the public? Are they both exaggerating or curating their content to appear like the one carrying all the weight? More and more people are starting to question whether these moments are genuine or staged just to maintain a storyline and grow their audience on TikTok. Is this just for views? More and more people online are starting to think this is all a performance, like a storyline they're both playing into. That maybe neither of them is doing as much cleaning as they want people to believe. Some even think the mess is not just random, but actually staged on purpose so they can film themselves cleaning it later. These videos can get good views, and if they are part of the creator fund, that means money too. So the mess becomes part of the content plan. Others have a different theory. They think one of them might be doing the real work behind the scenes while the other films the fake version of it just to gain praise and sympathy. So maybe Stephanie does the bulk of the work and Drew films himself doing a quick clean for TikTok. Or maybe it's the other way round. Some people even believe they both clean only when the cameras are on and then stop when the filming ends, letting the room go back to chaos so they can repeat the cycle. It's starting to feel more like content farming than real life struggle. It's hard to know what's real anymore. But if their plan is to keep people confused, guessing, or constantly arguing about who's doing what, then it's working. People are watching, talking, commenting, and that's exactly how online engagement grows. Sympathy slowly shifts to Drew. Believe it or not, Drew is actually starting to gain sympathy from the same people who used to drag him. And that shift is surprising because for a long time, people saw him as lazy, immature, and someone who relied on Stephanie while doing nothing to help. But now that he is working multiple jobs and showing even a small level of effort, people are slowly changing their minds. He's not perfect, not even close, but at least he's moving in the right direction. The bar may be low, but to some viewers, it looks like progress. On the other hand, Stephanie hasn't really shown any growth or change. The same issues people have been calling her out for are still happening. She continues to ignore the court orders, especially the one telling her not to post or talk about Dishon on social media. And she keeps doing it anyway. Meanwhile, Drew has adjusted. He has stopped posting Dishon, possibly to avoid more legal trouble, and that alone makes him look more cautious and responsible. It's a small step for Drew, but in this whole messy situation, that kind of step stands out. It makes him look like he's at least trying to change. Stephanie, on the other hand, looks stuck in the same habits, refusing to change anything and continuing to make choices that hurt her credibility. The saddest part of all of this? The kids are still the ones losing, and they have been from the start. That motel room is still cluttered and chaotic no matter how many times their parents say they're cleaning. The children don't have toys to play with, books to read, or even a small area to call their own. There is barely space to move around, let alone space to feel calm or safe. They don't have a clean table to do homework on, a corner to draw in, or even enough quiet to take a proper nap. Stephanie tried to make things look fun at one point by pushing them around the laundry carts at a laundromat and filming it. But that doesn't replace what they really need. That's not a real childhood. It's not even a proper break from the stress they live with every day. It's just another moment for content.
Okay, let's talk about Stephanie Jenkins' latest video, and of course, what is she gonna do? She's gonna film it at the laundromat, because those are the only, either the laundromat, her bedroom, which is also her living room, which is also her whole house, or outside by the storage containers. Those are the only three places we ever see her or her kids at. Like, they don't really go to any, trampoline parks or anything like that. Those are the only three places they will ever go. But, they can't even follow the rules of where they're at. Because in the video, you see Addie being pushed around by her mom. Woo, she's a fun mom. Stephanie Jenkins isn't like a regular mom. She's a fun mom. Pushing around Addie and where you put the clothes. Those things are so hard to come back by when you're in the laundry, Matt, let alone having these kids playing around with them. And then Stephanie Jenkins is like, woohoo, I'm pushing her. This is fun, even though we don't go out anywhere. Or we don't get to submerge or I should say immerse our kids in culture and having them, have these different experiences. No, we're just going to shut up too, let's do better. We're struggling, help us. No. No. You choose to struggle, Stephanie Jenkins. I'm so tired of her saying, we're going to do better in 155,000 days in this motel shelter, but things are looking up. They're not.
The kids are always in the background of this ongoing adult drama, stuck in the middle of two parents who seem more focused on defending themselves online or proving a point to strangers than actually solving anything. They are growing up in a place where their needs are always second to a live stream, a TikTok, or a clapback video, and that's not fair to them. The storage unit problem. Let's not forget the toys and belongings that the public kindly sent their kids through the Amazon wish list. Where are they now? They were all stored in a storage unit that, according to Drew's own sister, got auctioned off because nobody paid the storage fees. Someone bought it all for just $4. That's devastating. But here's a twist. Drew later responded to a comment about it. He said the storage unit is still there and that they're still paying for it, claiming the rumors about it being auctioned off are false. He told people not to believe everything they hear online and made it seem like there is no reason to worry. Now, this response has made things even more confusing. If Drew is telling the truth, then that's good news. But people are finding it hard to trust what either of them say at this point. Why? Because there is no actual proof. Drew didn't show a receipt or post a video of the unit still being there. It was just a comment. On the other hand, his sister was pretty confident and specific about what she said, mentioning the storage was lost due to missed payments and was bought off for just $4. That's not the kind of thing people usually make up, especially if it reflects badly on a family member. So now we are left wondering, who's telling the truth? Drew, who might just be trying to save face by downplaying the situation to avoid backlash, or his sister, who shared the story publicly and didn't seem to gain anything from doing so? Either way, people are left confused, and the lack of transparency only raises more questions. Impact on the children. If that storage unit is really gone, it means all of the kids' belongings are gone too. That includes everything people from the internet generously sent: clothes, games, books, school supplies, hygiene items, and toys meant to help these kids feel like kids, even in a hard situation. All those things were given out of kindness by people who genuinely wanted to help, and now it might be all gone. And for children already dealing with so much, being homeless, stuck in a cramped motel, surrounded by stress, and often ignored in their parents' online drama, that's just another layer of pain. It's more trauma on top of everything else. It's not just about losing things, it's about losing the few pieces of comfort and normalcy they had. They don't deserve that. These are items that could have made their day a little easier, their space a little brighter, and their lives a bit more stable. At the very least, they should have been able to hold on to those small pieces of comfort. So we go back to the original question. What's really going on in that motel room? If both Drew and Stephanie are cleaning constantly like they claim on their separate pages, Why does it look filthy in every video they post? Why are there always piles of clothes, dirty dishes, trash on the floor, and clutter everywhere? Something just isn't adding up, and people are starting to get more vocal about it. Is this all for content? Are they keeping things messy just to film clean with me videos that get views? Is one of them just pretending for the camera while the other one carries the real weight of screen? Could Stephanie be too sick, exhausted, or overwhelmed to do anything beyond filming small clips? Or is Drew staging these cleaning scenes to look like he's working hard so viewers will feel sorry for him and support his creator fund earnings? Theories are everywhere, and they are only growing. Some people think they take turns filming and exaggerate what's really being done. Others believe they have just given up on maintaining the space but want to make it look like they are still trying. But no matter which theory you believe, they all lead to the same point. The motel still looks the same, messy, unsafe, and far from livable for the kids. Stephanie mentioned in a video that she's been having chest pain, that it's serious and not something to ignore. If her health is actually getting worse, then it could be one reason she's falling behind on daily tasks like cleaning and organizing the space. Taking care of a home, even a small motel room, is hard enough when you're feeling fine, let alone when your body is in pain. But even with that in mind, there are still questions that need answers. If she's really struggling with her health, then why isn't she seeking real support? Why hasn't she reached out to family, community resources, or even her followers for actual help with the situation? And more importantly, if she knows her condition is affecting her ability to function, why isn't there some kind of backup plan or routine to keep the space livable for the kids? Also, there is the issue of the older kids. Why aren't they being taught how to step in and help with basic chores? Even young children can learn to pick up after themselves, put things in the trash, or tidy their sleeping area. Teaching them small responsibilities can make a big difference, especially in a cramped space like a motel room. But it seems like no one is stepping in. Not Stephanie, not Drew, and not even the kids. And it's causing everything to fall apart even more. The public is done with excuses. At this point, people are just tired. Tired of the back and forth. Tired of the mixed messages. Tired of the lies. If your whole life is going to be posted online, don't be surprised when people start asking questions. You can't both be the one doing everything. That's not how this works. And let's not forget what really matters here. The kids. They are the ones stuck living in these conditions. They are the ones losing the most. Final thoughts and call to action. So, what's the real story? Is Joe finally making real changes in his behavior while Stephanie continues down the same path? Has he truly stepped up as a father and partner, or is he just better at managing public perception now? On the flip side, is Stephanie really as overwhelmed and unsupported as she claims? Or is she holding back progress by refusing to change? Are they both playing into roles for content, trying to control their own narratives to gain sympathy, attention, and money from their online audience? Or is this just one more chaotic chapter in the ongoing drama we've all been watching unfold? Maybe it's less about who is doing better and more about who's better at pretending. Let me know what you think. Who do you believe? Who seems like they are actually putting in effort? And who is just putting on a show when the camera starts rolling? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your take, like and subscribe to stay updated because this definitely isn't over. If anything, it's just getting messier.